welcome to our series, Power Promises. This series is all about the amazing promises God made to us in the Bible. Have you ever had a test in school that you didn't study for? At that moment, you would love to be able to have some way to get the answers downloaded into your brain. Sadly, that is impossible. I have another question for you. Have you ever had a really important decision to make, but you just weren't sure what the right choice was? It sure would be great in that moment to be able to download some wisdom from heaven and know exactly what to do. Would you believe me if I told you that that was possible? It's possible to get wisdom just like that. Okay, so maybe we can't download answers from heaven's computer. But God has made a very important power promise that deals with wisdom. We're gonna learn all about that promise today. But right now, let's go check out this video.
Hey kids, it's me, Jack Hammer, and I am an expert in power tools. And as always with me is my little bro, Sledge. What's up, bro?
Hi, everyone. Jack?
Yeah?
What was with that chainsaw sound you made?
Oh, right. I just thought it'd be cool to make a power tool noise before the title.
But why a chainsaw and not a jackhammer?
Yes?
No, not you. I mean, make the sound of a jackhammer. Like, cause that's your name?
Yeah, I'm not following you.
You mean you don't see the irony that your name is Jack Hammer and you run a power tool show?
Hey, bro, I defiantly see the irony here. I ironied this shirt 2 days ago.
Okay, whatever.
Now today, I'm gonna need your help, little bro. I got a brand new tool delivered, but it came disassembled. Dishrink-a-dink. This is a hard word to say.
Disassembled.
That's what I said. Anyway, it's in pieces and we need to put it together.
Sounds good. Where's the manual?
The what?
The instructions, you know, the directions to put it together.
Oh, come on, bro. We don't need those. I've got it all up here. I can completely visualize exactly how this tool is supposed to be put together without your instructions.
You lost them, didn't you?
Yes, I did. But we're okay. Grab that piece right there.
This?
No, over there.
This?
No, that right there.
This is a ham sandwich, Jack.
I know, that's my lunch. I've got our first piece right here.
That's part of the new power tool?
They said it was lightweight, but this is ridiculous.
Okay, let's just keep going.
Wait, I just thought of something, Sledge.
What?
We could get this done a lot faster with a video montage.
Huh?
Yeah, a video montage of us putting the tool together.
That sounds so weird.
Trust me, little bro, it won't be weird at all.
Is it supposed to be so strange looking?
Yeah, I'm not sure how this happened. Maybe we did miss a step. Maybe we needed those instructions.
I think you're right. You know, this reminds me a little bit of life.
Are you telling me my life is like a pile of useless power tool parts?
No, I'm saying that sometimes in life we need directions. And God has promised in His Word that when we need wisdom, He'll provide it.
Well, now would be one of those times for sure.
There are many times in life where we need wisdom. And the cool thing is, God wants to give it to us. He wants to help us.
You are so right, bro. Speaking of help, you think you could help me disassemble this and put it back together the right way?
Way ahead of you, bro. I took the liberty of downloading the instructions off the internet.
Good thinking.
Wow, those Hammer brothers really could use some wisdom. We all find ourselves in moments when we need to make big decisions about our lives and don't want to mess up. God has promised that He will give us wisdom when we ask Him. Isn't that amazing? You're going to learn about how God is the source of all wisdom. He wants to share that wisdom with us. Through the story of King Solomon, you're going to learn that when God gives wisdom, He gives it generously. Speaking of wisdom, right now, we're going to find out what you gotta know.
What you gotta know? What you gotta know? What you gotta know? What you gotta know?
Hey kids, I'm Big Ray, and I'm here to tell you what you gotta know. Today, we'll learn about how God is the source of all wisdom. So every time today you hear someone ask you what you gotta know, you tell them, I will go to God when I need wisdom. People look all around the world for wisdom. Wisdom. Where are you, wisdom? Now, they may not do it like that, but people look for wisdom everywhere. Friends, family, music, on the internet, they look for it everywhere. You don't have to look far for the greatest wisdom, God's wisdom. Just ask Him and He will give you what you need. So every time today you hear someone ask you what you gotta know, you tell them, I will go to God when I need wisdom. And that right there is what you gotta know. I'm Big Ray, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
What you gotta know?
Hello everyone, my name is Van.
My name is Glenn. We are here to pop
You up, yeah. Glenn and I are power
Oh,
lifters.
we are.
Yeah.
We are here to teach you a knock-knock joke.
A knock-knock joke. I love knock-knock jokes.
So do I.
Ooh, do you have one you can tell me?
I do.
Let me hear, let me hear.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Let us
Who?
Let us find out what today's power verse is. yeah.
Well, what is today's part of us?
I will tell you now with my mouth. Today's power verse says, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. James 1:5.
Oh, that was a powerful power verse.
It was.
But do you know what we need?
Bacon. What?
Bacon sounds pretty good, but that's not what I'm talking about.
what?
We need the boys and the girls to stand up
Yeah.
and say the part of us with us on the count of 3. Are you ready?
Yeah, but Sven, we have to do it powerfully. Yeah. So boys and girls, stand up and run in place.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
Run like the wind. Here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. James 1:5. Oh, that was an amazing part of us, Glenn.
Yeah, it
you all
was.
may have a seat.
Yeah, well listen, now it's time for me and my brother Sven to let you go.
Oh, yes, but until next time when we teach you another power verse, my name is Van,
And my name is Glenn.
and we'll see you next time when we pop you up!
Today we are going to look in the book of 1 Kings chapter 3 to read what happened after King David died. David's son Solomon was still a young man. When King David died, Solomon was crowned the new king. Solomon didn't feel that he was completely ready to be king, but ready or not, he was the new king. One night, God appeared to Solomon in a dream. God spoke to Solomon and said, "Ask for whatever you want, and I will give it to you." Wow, what an awesome thing for God to say. What would you ask for? A huge pile of money, a long life, the destruction of your enemies? There were probably a lot of things that crossed Solomon's mind, but this is not what he asked for.
Solomon answered, "Give me wisdom." Solomon understood that he was going to rule over God's chosen people, Israel. He knew that there would be many times that he would need God's wisdom to make sure he was making the wisest choices and decisions. So Solomon asked for wisdom instead of money, long life, or the destruction of his enemies. So God gave Solomon wisdom. In fact, he gave Solomon more wisdom than any other man on earth. King Solomon would spend hours listening to the needs of people. He made many decisions. Each one of those decisions was wise. Solomon asked God for the wisdom, and that is exactly what he received. Today, we're going to learn how each one of you can do the same thing when you need wisdom. You can call on God and ask. God has made a power promise that he will give you wisdom and give it generously.
David was old. He had been the king of Israel for many years, and now his son Solomon was going to be king. God had promised David that Israel's king would always be someone from his family. Before David died, he gave Solomon some instructions. "Be strong and brave, Solomon," David said. "Obey God and you will be successful. God will keep his promise that every king of Israel will come from our family." When David died, Solomon became the king of Israel. One night, God appeared to Solomon in a dream. God said, "Solomon, ask for anything you want, and I will give it to you." Anything? A king might have asked to live a long life or to have lots of riches. Solomon could have asked God to give him victory over all his enemies. But Solomon did not ask to be rich or to have a long life. Solomon wanted to be a good king. He asked for something even better. Solomon prayed, "God, I am young, and I do not know very much about being a king. Please make me wise and obedient to you. Help me know the difference between right and wrong. Help me lead your people well." God was happy with Solomon's request. God said, "I will give you wisdom. In fact, I will make you more wise and understanding than anyone who has ever lived. No one in the future will ever be as wise as Solomon." Then God said, "Because you asked for wisdom, I will also give you what you did not ask for: long life, riches, and honor. You will be greater than any other king during your lifetime." Solomon woke up and realized God had spoken to him in a dream. Solomon praised God and offered sacrifices to worship him. Solomon was a wise king who wanted to do God's plan. God planned to give his people a greater and wiser king, his son, Jesus. Jesus completely trusted God with his life. Jesus surrendered his own life to die on the cross for our sin.
Today we are talking about another great power promise. It's all about calling on God for wisdom. Have you ever needed wisdom? Maybe you had a major decision to make and you just wanted to make the right decision. There are so many decisions to make in life. What friends to choose, what do you do when you grow up, what's right and what's wrong. It can be really tough knowing which is the wisest decision.
People search for wisdom in many places. That's why so many people in the world try to find answers in some of the craziest ways. You see, some people call the psychic hotline, where they think people on the other end know what's going on in their life and try to tell them the wisest decisions for them. We know that people don't know what's going on in our lives, especially if they don't even know us. So, psychic hotlines are a waste of time. I'll tell you another silly way to get wisdom. There are people who think that they can get wisdom from a fortune cookie. These little cookies were made by someone you don't even know, and then they were stuffed with a little piece of paper with a message. People really think that they can get good advice from a fortune cookie? Really? Let's see. I doubt they can. Do you really think that a person is going to know what I'm supposed to do with my life from a factory? How silly. These ideas are definitely not the way to go when you need wisdom. Who do you think we should call when we need wisdom? Who? That's right, God. We should call on God when we need wisdom. Why? Because it's simple.
God is the source of all wisdom. If you wanted to know how a painting was painted, you have to go to the source. The painter, right? If you want to know how a building was made, you have to go to the source. The builder. So if you want to find out how to make the wisest decisions, you have to go to the source of all wisdom, God. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 2:6 that the Lord grants wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. God made the entire universe. He created you. He knows everything there is to know about everything. So why would we go to any other place to get wisdom? If God is the source of all wisdom, we shouldn't seek after psychic hotlines and the magic 8 balls or fortune cookies or the crystal balls or horoscopes or anything else besides God. If we want true wisdom, we should go to God because God is the source of all wisdom. How do you get wisdom from God? It's very simple.
Ask God, and He will give you wisdom. God wants to give us wisdom. He wants us to make wise decisions. So all you have to do is ask Him. Our power promise says this: if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. You don't have to beg, just ask. Did Solomon have to beg God for wisdom? No. We learned very clearly in our Bible story that he just asked for wisdom, and God gave it to him. If you and I want wisdom to make the best decisions possible, all we need to do is ask God. God wants to give wisdom to us so that we follow His plan for our lives. So call on God, ask Him for wisdom, and He will give it to you.
If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. James 1:5.
Hey kids, we're gonna go over our review questions. I hope you're following along. We've got Kendall versus Devante. And I hope you guys are answering all the questions. The winner of this game today wins a castle.
Of my choosing?
It's pre-made. Pre-built. The first one. Question number 1. What you gotta know today?
I will go to God when I need wisdom.
Yep,
It's
exactly.
not for you.
Point goes to Kendall. All right, next one. Who was crowned king in our Bible story?
It was Solomon. King Solomon.
Devante hit the button first, so the point goes to Devante.
I said it first.
1-1.
Okay.
Who was Solomon? No.
Who was Solomon?
Who was?
Solomon was King David's son.
Next question.
2-1.
Was 1-1. Was Solomon young or old when he became a king?
He was a young lad. Young lad.
Exactly. He was very young. 2-1.
3-1.
Who offered King Solomon whatever he wanted?
God.
Yes.
Because he asked and you shall receive.
Exactly. It was God. The score is 3-1. I mean, we gotta get some grace. Next question. What did King Solomon ask for?
Wisdom. You're supposed to do that after the 4-2.
3-2. According to our lesson, people search for blank in many places.
Wisdom in many places. We both hit it at the same time. That's not true.
I heard one answer though.
Wisdom. Wisdom.
4-2.
Woo! Okay, 5.
According to our lesson, blank is the source of all wisdom.
God.
Facts. God is the source of all wisdom. 5-2.
All right.
According to our lesson, blank God, and he will give you wisdom.
Ask.
Next question.
No one gets the point. Next question. Did God help King Solomon become a wise leader?
Yes.
Yes, he did. God gave
5 to
him
5.
wisdom.
What? So how are we not doing question 10? That's horrible.
True or false? God has more wisdom than we do.
True. Because he is all-knowing. He is omniscient, which means all-knowing.
Exactly. True. God has more wisdom than we do. Last one. Last question. Where was our power verse found?
See you next week. No, sorry. I can't. I don't know.
It was Hebrews. I mean, 2 Kings.
2 Kings
4:11.
13:16.
That's very inaccurate. Very inaccurate. It's actually James 1:5.
5. James 1:5.
I'm sure you guys follow along, answered the questions. We get to keep the castle. These guys are not staying in it. There was a lot of cheating going on, but I'm glad that you guys were able to follow along and answer the questions. Bye.
See you next week.
Oh, what you gotta know?
People look in different places for wisdom when all they really have to do is ask God, because the Bible's clear. He gives it liberally to those who ask. So this week, if you need wisdom, who are you gonna ask? Ghostbusters? No! You're gonna ask God. Ask God and he will give you wisdom.